Hi there! In today's video, I'm going to walk you through 3 different ways to start an LLC in Washington. But more important than that, I'm going to share with you crucial information that's going to help keep your new business safe and protected. So if you're not familiar with terms like commingling funds, piercing the corporate veil, or registered agent, don't worry, but do know these are really important and you're going to understand how they impact your LLC by the end of this video. So the very first way to start your Washington LLC is to go to the Washington Secretary of State website. You can find the link for the state site and any of the resources I mentioned in the description below. Once you create an account, you can then just go through the steps there to set up your LLC. And as you'd expect, the state website is not the prettiest or the easiest thing to navigate. But on the positive, there's no fees involved except for the $200 state filing fee as of 2022. And there is no way around that fee. You're going to have to pay that if you go direct through the state or an online legal tool or through an attorney. The pros of using a state site are that there are no markups or upsells. The downside is that they're just not laid out well for making the registration process easy. In fact, I think it's way more confusing than it needs to be. One of the other downsides of the state site is that they don't help you keep your LLC compliant. And that's because the state site lacks the ability to remind you of important updates and renewal reminders. I'll explain this all further, but first, let's just talk about what an LLC actually is so that you can understand how to maintain it properly. So a lot of people think that there's this tax advantage to having an LLC over a sole proprietorship, but actually that's not true. The advantage of an LLC is in the name itself. It's there to help limit your liability. So imagine right now your business and all the assets. This could be your office, your computers, your business bank accounts. And then on your personal side, you might have a home, your car, your personal bank account. So what an LLC does is it draws this line of division between those two asset classes. And that division is something called the corporate veil. So if somebody sues your business, they can try and come after your business assets, but the LLC and the corporate veil are going to protect your personal assets so that they can't come after things like your home or your personal bank account. And that is why an LLC is so important. Earlier, I mentioned something called piercing the corporate veil. So what this legal jargon means is if your business is sued, the attorney suing your business is going to try and find cracks in your LLC. And if they can find a crack, then they can pierce the corporate veil. And when this happens, they can come after your business and personal assets. So that's why it is so important to not only set up an LLC, but you have to maintain it so that there are no cracks. Now, I'd like to explain why the state site is not great for maintaining your LLC, and I'll give you a few examples. So a great service for setting up your LLC is a company called InkFile, and that's an online legal tool. You'll find a link in the description below that will take you to their site, and we really appreciate when you use that link because it helps to support the YouTube channel. The reason I like InkFile is that they have packages that start at $0 plus the state fee. And one of the perks of this $0 package is that you get a free registered agent service for a year. And that's the first reason why I prefer this site over the state site. And if you're not sure what a registered agent is, well, let me tell you. Every LLC is required to have a registered agent. Sometimes they're called a resident agent, statutory agent, or agent for service of process. The registered agent has to have a physical address in the state your LLC is set up. And this person is there to help with important documentation and communication. This could be things like franchise tax forms, notices of litigation, tax and legal correspondence, and required annual report forms. So basically, the registered agent helps you keep your LLC in compliance. Now, if you go through the state website, they just want to know the name and the address of your registered agent without much context. If you go through InkFile, that service is free for the first year, and then it's $119 annually after that, and you can always drop or change the registered agent service at any time. Now, another reason I like InkFile is that the state website doesn't help you with any of the federal aspects of your business. Here's a good example of this. Your LLC is set up through your state, but an EIN business tax number is set up through the IRS. And you can think of the EIN as a social security number used to identify your business for tax purposes. So when you get set up through the state website, they do not help you with setting up your EIN number. And if you've never done this before, it can be kind of confusing. But in the middle tier package on InkFile, they'll set up the EIN for you. And I'll also include a link in the description below if you want to set up your EIN yourself on the IRS website. I also want to highlight that they will set you up with a business bank account. And this is really important to do from the beginning. And here's why. So not only does it just make accounting and bookkeeping for your business way easier, but you should know if you are going to run your business through your personal checking account, you are commingling funds. And that's because you have your personal cash flow and your business cash flow all happening in the same account. This can create a crack in your LLC, which could lead to an attorney piercing the corporate veil and then being able to come after both your business and personal assets. So InkFile takes these things into consideration where the state site just sets up your LLC. The nice thing with InkFile is that your dashboard also helps you not just set up the LLC, but maintain it and keep it compliant with annual reports and forms that need to be filed as well. On the screen here, you'll see a video that goes further into the dashboard and what it looks like after setting up your LLC. There will also be a video on how to pay yourself with an LLC. Again, thank you so much for using the links in the description below, and I will catch you on the next video.